And of course, we appreciate those of you who are listening and watching on Facebook Live. I am Will Sutton, and I have with me today the wonderful, the talented, the so smart, the powerful advocate for us
Yes, thank
from
you.
Power Coalition, Ashley
Good morning.
Shelton.
Good morning.
Good to have you back, sister.
Good to be here. Good to be
Yeah.
here. Lots going on. Lots
Ye-
to talk about.
Oh man, yeah. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to talk about, and we've got a new mayor.
Yep.
We've got a new city council. Of
Yep.
course, there were some returnees, but with the three additional members, it's a new city council.
It is.
We've got an ever going budget deficit and problems
Mm-hmm.
with that. The mayor made a big announcement yesterday on lighting infrastructure.
Yep. Saw that.
Yep. And we've got all kinds of other things that are happening, including, yes, crime. So we're going to be talking about a number of those things on today's show. And on today's show, we will have Sophie Kasakov, my reporter colleague from the Times-Picayune.com, who dug into how many city employees have city-owned cars
Hmm.
and who they are.
Gotcha.
Okay, we won't have time to go down the whole list because this whole 900 and something.
Oh,
But
wow.
Sophie's going to join us today, and we'll
Mm-hmm.
talk about that. And what's the balance of public safety, being available, versus the expense of purchasing a car, maintaining a car? What's the right level? During the campaign, Helena Moreno talked about city cars. Well, actually, this was right after she was elected. She said one of the things she wanted to look at was the city fleet,
Mm-hmm.
and that the mayor had too many cars. The mayor said, because she said the mayor had 4 cars. The and then Mayor Cantrell said, "I don't have 4 cars. I have 3, or 3 vehicles." And in so many words, other folks are like, still too many. Um, but does the mayor need more than 1 car, 1 vehicle? I don't know. I mean, let's think about it. Let's talk about it, because there are probably places that you want to go in the city
Mm-hmm.
where just get me in this vehicle, and it could be a sedan, and get me where I need to go.
Yeah.
But then there are other cases like the sedan is nice, but depending on the type of sedan, you got 4, 5 people,
Mm-hmm.
6 tightly. And so maybe you need an SUV to get some key staff and guests with
Right.
to where you go.
Right.
Or maybe just have the SUV and not the other. But then there's the expense of more mileage on that SUV
Mm-hmm.
and more gas
Yeah.
in the SUV. So maybe you have the one, but you take on some of the other expenses. Or maybe you do need 2.
Yeah, I mean, but see, I'm not worried about the mayor because whoever the mayor, we know our new mayor has just been installed. The mayor can afford a car. The mayor can have the city provide her a car. That isn't the question. But when you think about a city like New Orleans, where even though we are one of the richest cities in terms of culture and all of these other
Yeah.
things, we don't have a public transportation system that can fully service the needs of this city.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a lot of folks that work for the city that aren't, they're not out here making gajillions of
No,
dollars.
they're not.
And so then you have to really think about you have to balance, right, some of the realities of
Mm-hmm.
a place,
Mm-hmm.
and the people that live there, and what does it mean for folks to be able to work for the city, live in the city,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe a car allowance or having one of the cars in the fleet is a deal breaker, right, in terms of them being able to work for the city or not. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, I do think that, I don't know about 900 or what the right number is, but I
Mm-hmm.
do think that there is something to consider about the realities of, you know, what it means to live in New Orleans, how much it costs, and then also too what happens when you live in a place where the public transportation can't meet the need.
Yeah, and then there's the would you like to drive somebody else's car to avoid the headaches and pains and surprises of all the potholes and
Yeah.
such things. So,
Right. Like
you know,
let's break the axle on the city car.
yeah,
Not-
right.
but
So,
I mean, but I do think that like,
not
you know,
that you're trying to harm a car, hurt a car, disable
right,
a car,
right.
but I can't tell you how many times I had to replace a tire or
Oh yeah,
or
no.
a couple of tires or
Yeah.
or
I
do
got
something
jumbled
else,
around
you
today
know.
this morning, just heading over here. I was like, "Ooh, it's going a little faster
Yeah,
with
yeah,
uneven
yeah,
road."
yeah.
But I do think that like there's that. But I do think that I don't want us to lose the reality that there's some folks that really the car may make the difference of them being able to
Absolutely,
hold the job, and
yeah,
I do
yeah.
think that that's real. And I mean, I don't know if anybody needs more than one, but I do, but I do know that, like, I mean, it can be a difference maker for folks that actually work for the city to live in the city.
Yeah.
I think it's something to consider.
Yeah.
Too.
All right. Well, we're going to be talking to Sophie about that a little later on. Yesterday was a great show. Really enjoyed you all calling in, and the engagement was really wonderful, talking about Inauguration Day and moving forward. And then we didn't get some of your calls because we ran out of time. So today's that day. If you want to call, you didn't get in. We had a wonderful Inauguration Day journalist roundtable on Monday, and OT was in yesterday. So we had
Nice.
real good conversation like that, and then we put it into kind of a psychological context with Victor Sims, and that was great. So now I'm with Ashley Shelton, and we can talk about it some more. We can hear from you. The talk line is 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. You got some thoughts about the inauguration day, the inauguration weekend, the first day with a new mayor, and what's coming? I had some thoughts, and I wrote them down. So we'll talk about that a little bit too. All right, you're listening to WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about
All day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Good Wednesday morning. I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. New Orleans police say a deadly crash happened just after 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon on Almonaster near Jordan Road. NOPD says an SUV was spotted and stopped at the intersection when a dump truck slammed into it, causing it to flip over. They say a man who was working outside on the SUV and another inside were injured. A woman also inside the SUV died at the scene. NOPD says the driver of the truck was not injured. Mayor Helena Moreno is making it clear that getting lights back on for New Orleanians is a top priority. She launched her Lights On initiative on her first full day in office. Crews were already seen yesterday working on streetlights along Crowder Boulevard near the Willows Apartments. This is one of 13 executive orders she signed yesterday after being sworn in. St. Bernard officials confirmed 23-year-old Damien Gottschall was pulled out of the river there last week. He was last seen on December 21st near the intersection of General Meyer and Ernest Street in Algiers. The New Orleans Police Department is leading the investigation into his death. And with Mardi Gras just weeks away, public safety leaders in New Orleans continue to discuss safety precautions. This includes the city's readiness to respond to any man-made or natural incidents. New Deputy Mayor of Public Safety and Homeland Security, Michael Harrison, says his team is meeting this week to discuss proactive safety measures they will be taking. Harrison also says they're working to decide whether to bring back the barriers that we saw on St. Charles Avenue last season. I'm Daryl Forges, and that's your headlines for WBOK. Have a great
Late nights are made for chillin', and you can do just that every Sunday night at 10 p.m. as DJ Wick brings you The Love Zone. It's the perfect way to top off your weekend with your favorite old and new school ballads. So sit back, relax, and let DJ Wick take you to the on WBOK and on the World Wide Web at WBOK1230.com.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show for those of you who have already tuned in. And welcome to the Good Morning Show for those of you who are just turning us on, flipping the button, whatever you have to do on whatever device that you are using to listen to WBOK this morning. I'm Will Sutton, and I'm here with Ashley Shelton.
Good morning.
So good to have you back. And we are talking about a number of things in the news, and we do want to hear from you, our WBOK family of listeners. That number is 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. And as always, yes, I'm going to say it. Watch out for the babies. Watch out for the kiddos. They're going to school in this hour. School zone speed limits are in effect until 9 a.m. Get out of your place of residence and be careful before you leave. Make sure you have everything that you need, because I'm going to let you know something my colleagues here don't know. I got here darn close to the start of the show. I don't do that. Why did I do that? Because I had gone out the door, out to the parking lot. I'm pulling out, and I realized I didn't have my glasses. I was like, Lord, today.
You got to be able to see.
I was like, what? I mean, that's the first time in a long time I've done it that way. I've walked out with my eyeglass case and not the
eyeglasses, right?
But I didn't have eyeglass case holder, my little lanyard thing, glasses. I was like, not a whole day.
Yeah. It's like,
not a whole day.
Yeah.
I'm
it's pretty early to start.
So you look in the mirror and check and make sure if you're at that age and stage. Heck, it could be 32 or it might be 72 or 82. But if you have some teeth that you need to take care of, just make sure you got them in so you can get through the day, have a good lunch, not worry about chewing, and make sure that you are safe as you head out around those school zones. But be safe for you, protect yourself, and protect other drivers, because some of them are the crazy ones and not you if you take care of things and pay attention. Well, so Miss Ashley, we are off and running with a new mayor, and Mayor Moreno. You had all of the formal stuff with the inauguration program and everything.
Yep.
The mass on Sunday evening, had a all-in festival on Sunday afternoon. The community service is going to be on MLK Day, which I think was a smart decision not to try to scrunch that in the balance of the couple of days. And so instead it's going to be on an MLK holiday. So that's good. They can just kind of move that machinery in that direction and work toward that. And also give some people a little bit of a breather and recruit more people to help. And yesterday, we talked about Inauguration Day and moving forward. I also talked to a couple of other people, and I wanted to play that audio for you. We have Lisa Diggs, who is our Second City Court clerk, and wanted to hear what she had to say as one of our Black elected officials. All right, so here we are. The inauguration has just concluded. We have a new mayor. We have a new city council. End of a LaToya Cantrell era, the beginning of the Helena Moreno era. How was this program today? And do you think the all-in includes we black people in the way it needs to be improved?
I think that it means we are all in. Black, white, Hispanic. It will take all of us to turn this city around and make New Orleans into what she is meant to be. We love New Orleans, and the spirit in the room showed that we are all in to make this happen.
So what do you think of those folks who supported other candidates, who wanted a black man, who are still can't quite get over that? How do we move forward with some of us still with those feelings since the election, but we have a new man?
We can't be in our feelings, and they are going to come around as things start happening and change becomes evident in this city, because we need everyone. We need everyone to be all in, not just the people who supported her in the beginning, but the people who ran against her, because we are all public servants. And if we care about this city, we are going to all come together to make it better.
Okay, so we heard from Lisa Diggs. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the title of your column says it all. It's like, you know what, we got a new mayor and a new city, a newish city council, and we want a city that works. And the only way that it can work is if we participate. And so, you got to give, you got to give her a chance, and I think also too, and hold her accountable. I mean, that's what government is. That's what public service is. Mm-hmm. That is what our responsibility is as a citizen. It's our civic responsibility to get what you want. You have to participate. And so I do think that, the reality is, this is where we are, and folks gotta, let's get in there, roll your sleeves up. Let's do the work.
Right. And the column you're referencing is
Yes.
my column at timespeakingdola.com. So it went online yesterday, and it's in today's newspaper for those who might be interested in a
Hard
bit
copy.
more of a full account of what I said. But I didn't want people to have the moment go by, and with all of the hopefulness and the promise and all, and think that everything's okay, because there's still a bunch of feelings out there.
Yeah.
I hear Sister Diggs. I get it. And I've been known to be in my feelings.
Yeah, no,
Heck, I've
certainly.
been with my wife 45 years. I've been in a moment or two. I've been in my feelings. Okay?
Yeah.
But if you're really committed, you have to find your way out of your feelings and look for
do
what's
the work.
best, and come around and even help other people get out of their feelings. If you want that relationship to develop or continue.
Right.
But there's no joking about how deeply disappointed some people are with this, and so many others are very excited and optimistic, hopeful, can't wait to see the new direction and all. And that, I think it's just something for the mayor and her team to consider. I know they know this already.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I did also after the inauguration was I talked to former Councilman James Carter, who is the newly elected president-elect of the National Bar Association.
Mm-hmm.
And during the campaign, he supported State Senator Royce Duplessis.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to hear from Attorney Carter and his take on what we're seeing. All right? The talk line, we want to hear from you, too. We've heard from Diggs. We're going to hear from James Carter. You've heard from Ashley and me. The talk line is the time for you to weigh in. 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. 622. You're listening to WBOK 1230 AM. What Morning is talking about
All day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
The warm-up is here, but only for a day. Highs for today will reach 63 to 67. After some early morning showers, we should stay dry for the rest of the day. As we do get to later on into the afternoon and the evening, a cold front moves in. That's going to drop our temperatures for tonight, 31 to 38. There could be a light freeze on the North Shore. And then highs for tomorrow, only 49 to 53. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
Missed a show? Want to hear that guest everyone's talking about? WBOK is now streaming on all your favorite podcast apps. Just search WBOK Media, hit download, share with a friend, and don't forget to rate your favorite shows 5 stars. Because when our voices are heard, our impact grows.
Tired of the impersonal, one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Let's kick this year off right. WBOK invites you to the Fresh Start Mixer, Vision and Venture, part of a Seat at the Table series for 2026. January 15th at Nostalgia, 320 South Broad Street. Come create your own vision board, set your goals, sharpen your ideas, and connect with people who are actually building towards their future. Kick your year off right with a seat at the table. January 15th at Nostalgia, 320 South Broad Street from 5:30 p.m. till 9 p.m. Follow WBOK Media on Instagram. Ask for details in the DMs.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com.
My wife was frying okra. She's from Mississippi, so that's her favorite thing to do. She left the burner on high, and it didn't take long to ignite. So I ran to the stove, grabbed the pot, and that's when I got burned from a grease fire. And yes, the pain was, it was bad. Oh, Blue Cross treated me great with the recovery process. On the financial side, it would be expensive without Blue Cross. And that's what I was worrying about because I was out of work for 3 months. I'm Chad. I'm from Baton Rouge, and I had Blue Cross for 10 years. I don't eat fried okra. That's the funniest story.
Louisiana Blue. The right card, the right care.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. For those of you who have been tuned in, I'm Will Sutton, and with me is Ashley Shelton.
Good morning.
Always wonderful to see my friend, and even better to do something other than shake a hand, give a hug, and say, I saw you.
Right.
Have a conversation.
Discuss some things.
That's why I like this. So it is 7:29 a.m., folks. Please, if you got somewhere to be at by 7:30, I hope it's on the other side of your bed, and you can just grab that laptop and fire it up and check in and say, I'm here, boss.
Yeah.
Hey, team.
Right.
I'm on. I'm alive. We're rolling.
Right, right.
Or I'll see you at 8.
Right,
whatever you need to do.
exactly, exactly.
But make sure if you're going somewhere to be safe and watch out for the kiddos who are getting to
Yep.
school. Remember those school zones. And shout out to the assistant principals, my heroes, doing that transportation duty.
Yep.
I know that education is important, but if you don't get them in there safely, get them in their rooms and their seats,
Yep.
that ain't going to happen. So thank you, y'all, for keeping them safe and making sure people get where they need to go. Hey, look, before the break, we talked about the inauguration and moving forward with the Mayor Marino administration. And those of you who listened yesterday, you know I talked to a few people, and we played some comments yesterday from Devontae Lewis and from juvenile court judge Clint Smith. And we just heard just minutes ago from clerk Lisa Diggs. So we talked to former city councilman James Carter, who is also president-elect of the National Bar Association. And I particularly wanted to talk with him because he was not a Moreno supporter. He was there at inauguration, and I talked with him about that because he supported State Senator Royce Duplessis. So, Jared, if we're ready to go, we'll hear what James Carter had to say.
The program today suggests a great sense of optimism going forward. Upbeat, visionary, and exciting. So we'll see over time how the mayor executes on such a wonderful mosaic of positivity at this particular stage.
So we all know there were people in favor of different candidates. And two of the most prominent people were Royce Duplessis and Oliver Thomas. We didn't support Marina Moreno, but here we are. We've been through campaigns. How should we, the black community, look at this transition since we were in different camps in terms of the actual votes?
I think we should look at it with great optimism in that Mayor Moreno has incorporated a unified front going forward, meaning that she has taken individuals not only from the basis of support that were part of her campaign, but like in my case, she reached beyond the supporters and the unfettered supporters in our campaign and reached beyond that to include folks like myself in the transition team. So I'm a part of the transition team, part of the public safety, part of it. So she has the wisdom to collectively draw from the wide array of talent that we have to make sure that we do what is best in the interest of the city. So for that reason, I'm very, very excited about what's going on. Beyond me, beyond others, Mayor Moreno has shown a penchant that she understands how important it is to inculcate all those involved and draw from the best talent that we have without regard for past political matters that don't really matter anyway at this particular time.
Should we, black community, be looking for anything in particular, or should we just look to be a part of the all in the all in?
Well, I think that goes back to the Declaration of Independence, that we find these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that we endow by our creators with certain inalienable rights, among them a life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what we should be looking for from this administration in terms of unfettered opportunity to participate in society in ways that are beneficial to us individually and to the collective community.
Okay. Well, we heard from James Carter, former city council member, a State Senator Royce Duplessis supporter during the campaign, and he shared that he was contacted by the mayor-elect and joined part of the transition team, attended on Monday, and we heard what he had to say. It's like in so many words, my guy didn't win, and but I want to see this city do better
and thrive.
And
yeah.
so, if I can help, that's why I joined the transition team, and here to support. And I'm for New Orleans. That's what I heard.
No,
What'd you hear?
same. And I think, like the thing about local government, and I always remind people about this, is that the closer the election or the elected person or candidates are to where you live, the more they're directly impacting your life. And so with local government, this is a real opportunity. I feel, like we're 13 days into the new year. It feels super heavy with all the things happening at the national level. But what is and it feels, folks feel helpless to do anything about some of the things that we're seeing come across the headlines and our social media and the news. But I do think that in local government, what is different is that you absolutely have the ability to change it. You absolutely can lean in and, and again, like I always tease about, like, this isn't about like nobody's signing up to get a new best friend. But
I like that, Ashley.
like I need you to run the city, and I need the streets to I need to be able to drive on the streets. I need public transportation. I need. I need government that works, right? And so at the end of the day, like, this is a real opportunity for folks to lean in and, again, get the work, lean in, do the work, and and keep her accountable. So, I mean, I think that people confuse politics with friendship, and I'm not.
I think that's a good point.
Yeah,
because there are a lot of people who, I'm friendly with. They're not friends. I'm friendly with them. And then there's different levels of friendship. I mean, I have friends I see periodically. I mean, I don't see you every day. I'm not going to call you every day.
Right,
I'm not going to text you every day. Because it's like, I don't need to be all up in your life that way.
Right.
But I'm happy to see you, love to hear from you.
Right.
Enjoy a conversation if we can have one. There have been a number of events where I see you, hey, and next thing I know, you gone or I'm gone, and somebody pull you off this way.
Right.
But that doesn't mean we ain't friends.
No, right,
I mean,
absolutely.
And then, just because somebody is a friend doesn't mean they come over to your house every weekend for gumbo.
No, it's true. It's true. I mean, and then too.
But when you leave your house, is the traffic light working?
Right.
Is the pothole fixed that was there for 12 years?
Right.
What about that drainage
issue? Right. No, and and too, like I always get tickled because to me it's about, like the one thing that is true though is that, like, if something happens, or if I needed you, I can call you, right?
Yeah,
I don't talk to you every day, but we have the level of friendship where I can call you. Now, here's what's similar to our elected officials: you can call them too. If something happens, you should be able to call them.
That part.
And so, and so I think that, like, we've got to, we've got to, again, lean in. Let's start working towards, the city we want, and protecting the things about the city that make it beautiful and powerful, and and I do think too. I always, tease about my dear New Orleans is that everything's a little more personal in New Orleans.
Yeah, right.
It's a little more personal.
Yeah.
And there are lots, and and too, like whether people want to admit it or not, I mean, it is the political seat of the state, right? Like at the end of the day, the tax base of this state, the population of the state is Baton Rouge South, with New Orleans being the economic, driver, engine.
No Louisiana without the federal government and New Orleans.
There you go.
That?
Yeah.
Is that true?
That's absolutely true. And now it's about to be even more so, mostly New Orleans, because the federal government is pulling back as we await these Medicaid cuts and the impact on the healthcare system. So, at the end of the day, we have to, I get why it's more personal, right? Because there's a lot on the line. And then too, there are a lot of political dynasties in our great city, and like the political seat and the history, right? And so I think that that's also why it gets so personal, because there's a lot on the line.
Well, I do want to lean in with you on that accountability and access and communications part because, of course, you all at the Power Coalition do amazing work. And I think sometimes people hear Power Coalition and they think elections. And that's a part of what
Absolutely.
you do. A very important part of what you all focus on without, being this part of this campaign machinery or that kind of thing. But we want you to vote, you know. And are there some issues that care about that these people care more about? Yes.
Right.
But one of the things that you all continue to emphasize across the year is that's the vote.
Yep.
But you can call these people.
Right, and stay engaged.
Contact these people.
Right.
They are working for us. They
Yeah.
are working for you.
And then helping people understand the power they have. I mean, I think that people, misunderstand the power of the New Orleans City Council, which is very powerful,
Yes.
by the way.
Right.
I mean, it's the only city in the state that can regulate its own, it's regulating energy, right? So there are all these different things that people need to understand about the power that these elected officials have. And we want them to be able to think about oh no, I'm not confused about the fact that the City Council of New Orleans regulates energy. You have a public service commissioner,
Yes.
Devontae Lewis, as well as Skrmetta's district, I think, kind of butts a little bit here, there. But at the end of the day, even still, you also have a council that has a very powerful role in many ways. And so, we've got a new mayor, and we've seen what happens when a city council and a mayor don't work together. And now we've got to do that work of what can happen if we can get the mayor and the city council on the same page.
That's an excellent point, and it's something that OT mentioned on the show yesterday. As he's ended his tenure with City Council. I was pointing out new council transition as well as mayoral transition. Actually, he pointed it out, and then I leaned into that. And part of his point is new City Council has a lot of power. It is not the executive branch. But this city council is different from a lot of places. And I didn't say it yesterday, but that's one of the reasons people in the state legislature want to be on the New Orleans City Council. I mean, it's not, let me just change seats.
Yeah, no.
It's powerful. And I'll use the comparison of a major city in Chicago. Their city council is large. And it's really quite a dynamic to get some things done through that city council. But in Chicago, most of the time, the Chicago council members want to get to the state legislature.
Right. Well, and then think about how crazy this is for someone to run for a city council seat in the city of New Orleans costs. I mean, effectively, it costs the same as running for a state legislative seat. And part of that is because of how big the council districts are.
Right.
But, that also, too, are pretty much the same size as the state house district. So at the end of the day, it's interesting. But there's definitely, we've got two folks that have left the legislature, Matt Willard and Jason Hughes. And for those of us that do state level advocacy, we hate to see them go. But understand that, understand that reality that they can do more for the city they love and care about at the city council than they can at the state. And then also, too, the friction between the state and the city of New Orleans. We've seen, this governor pick on New Orleans and, and try to usurp the power of this city. And, and at the end of the day, now that we've got some folks that are coming in from the legislature, maybe they can bridge some of the confusion about who runs the city of New Orleans.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for reading my column. I'm curious about which part struck you which way. So this is live radio, people. So I am not going to divulge the name of the person. But the title of his email to me me. I'm going to show the Ashley so she hasn't seen this. And this is about the column that you read.
Okay.
And this is what he has to say in one word and then a long email.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Read the word.
The word is racist.
Was that racist?
No, I don't. I didn't feel that it was racist. We're talking, and then too, like, yeah, no, I did not feel like the column was racist at all. I wouldn't
Amazing
have that
perspective on the same column that you read, huh?
Right. Oh wow. Okay. I mean, I think that I think that what we've seen too, and what we're seeing in this country is that it's there's such control about a narrative, right? That's happening at the national level. And what people have learned is if you're not saying what they want them to say, you're not saying what they want to hear, then they pick whatever, whether it's racist or it's this or it's that. It's a rant.
Right.
That's
right,
wow.
Right. So was there any sentence or paragraph that was a rant from you?
No. And I think that we have to be able to have
Is there
discourse.
something in particular
And
that
you presented both sides very thoughtfully. So I don't get it. And I think that, we've been talking about feelings, and that's what happens when people have feelings, right? About a race. Nobody's trying to be divisive. We've been sitting here all morning saying that we're all in and we're gonna hold our accountable and let's get to work.
Well, I feel with this column that there was a clear element and focus on race.
Yeah.
But I feel I was race conscious and race aware.
Right.
Not
racist.
Racist.
Right. Well, and I think that when the balance, this is a majority African American city. And so at the end of the day, to not be race conscious or to be conscious of that, I think is unfair, right? It's an unfair characterization. And again, the voters voted. The voters have spoken. So I think that you have the right to have a consciousness, and to remind people why people have feelings. People have feelings because of race and because of the city. But again, the voters have spoken, and I always tell folks, I can always deal with however anybody votes on something as long as everybody gets out to vote. Now, if a few people have chosen the pain or the frustration that I'm feeling from a particular elected leader, then I feel some kind of way. But I do feel like, the people have spoken, and so let's get to work. I think, I don't think there's anything that's in the column that felt racist. It just is race conscious. And again, as we talk about people's feelings, let's talk about that. Yes, of course, people are going to have feelings in a majority African American city losing, African American leadership at the head. I mean, that's real.
Yeah. Well, at one point in the column, I point out the white mayors who got overwhelming support of the black community, and how Dutch Mario, our first black mayor, got overwhelming support from the black community.
Mm-hmm.
And what we saw in this most recent campaign, we've seen it in other campaigns, but in this campaign is black community had some different ideas about which candidate they wanted to see.
Right.
I'm okay if you're my friend and you say, well, I like this and I'm going this way.
Right.
Frankly, unless it's very hardcore Trump America stuff, I'm probably going to keep talking to you.
Right.
Well, okay, that's how you feel about this one.
Right. Yeah. Your vote isn't about my very existence.
Yeah, right.
Because it flies in the face of my very,
Yep.
So yeah. Well, everybody has their opinions, but I do think that we've got to hold the line on our First Amendment rights. I always tease that I never understood why guns have more rights than pretty much any of the constitutional amendments. But my right to protest, my right to free speech, my right to all the things that we also should hold as near and dear are all being threatened right now.
Yeah.
And, and discourse is what's required. We got to talk to each other. And again, we don't have to all agree, but, again, everything that's there is valid. So,
Yeah. All right. So we're going to go to break, folks. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about more news and information that you might want to know, or maybe with a little different context than you've thought about before. But you've got some ideas. You got some feelings. We want to hear from you. 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. Don't forget, we're going to hear from TimesPicayune-NOLA.com reporter Sophie Kasakov and about the city cars and the city fleet. So we're going to be getting into that on this show as well. And there's a new mayoral candidate, and we're going to tell you about that after the break. This is WBOK, 12:30 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat, brought to you by FidelityWealthManagement.com. All-time tennis great Serena Williams is channeling her competitive spirit into investing. But this is nothing new for Williams. Williams tells Bloomberg that being a part of business and finance was something she's carried with her through her playing days on the tennis court.
You know, it wasn't for me just about going out there and hitting tennis balls and winning. Obviously, that was the biggest part of it, but it was also really about being a business, being an entrepreneur. And at the time, when I was doing all this, there was lots of things and lots of people saying that you have to focus only on tennis, that you can't do other things, you can't have this other stuff, you can't be an entrepreneur, you can't think about other businesses, you really just have to do tennis. And I pushed that envelope and I said, you know what, that's not me.
Serena Williams speaking to Bloomberg at the American Business Forum in Miami recently. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Hey, listen, are you a 50-year-old person looking for term life insurance? Then you need to talk to Bob. Bob specializes in helping people find $1 million or more of term life insurance for a couple of $100 a month. Look, you need to know there's a price war in the term life insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call Bob, and he'll shop and see how much money he can save you. Look, this could be the last term life insurance policy you ever have. Your rates are guaranteed for the next 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rates for the next 20 years. And if you're a smoker or your health is not perfect, Bob has great rates for you too. So for $1 million of term life insurance coverage for a couple of $100 a month, call Bob right now. 800-890-5075. 800-890-5075. 800-890-5075. That's 800-890-5075. Paid for by Term Direct.
New Orleans, are you ready for a voice that says what you're thinking? Who that, you might ask? Arrington Gavin. That's right, I'm your guy, host of The Arrington Gavin Show, giving you so much filled with bold opinions, real conversations, and zero sugarcoating. We're going to be diving into the issues that matter, politics, pop culture, and all the above, unfiltered and unafraid. Catch The Arrington Gavin Show weeknights from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., Monday through Fridays, right here on WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about.
What if just $50 could open the door to your new home? Godan's is inviting you to enter their Key to Your Heart house raffle, where one ticket gives you a chance to win a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in the city of New Orleans. The drawing will happen on Valentine's Day, February 14th. Tickets must be purchased by February 12th at 11:59 p.m. Enter now at Raise, RAYZE.it/Key to Your Heart.
This is The Law in Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton.
When it comes to family planning, should you go with a will or a trust?
A will is like leaving instructions to the court. It tells them who gets what, but your family still has to go through a succession, which can be costly and time-consuming.
A trust, on the other hand, avoids court altogether. So when the time comes, everything transfers smoothly to your loved ones.
It's a little more work up front, but way less hassle and expense later. Plan smart, save time, and take care of your family.
This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
Transform your bathroom with the beautiful quality of Bath Planet. As a trusted leader in bathroom renovation, Bath Planet has earned the Good Housekeeping Seal, a symbol of quality and consumer confidence for over 100 years. Get half off installation or 18 months with no interest and no payments. Whether it's tub replacement, a shower replacement, or a tub-to-shower conversion, Bath Planet makes your custom bath fast, easy, and affordable. Here's how it works. 1. Call to schedule your free, no-obligation consultation. 2. Our design experts come to you with real samples to customize your dream bath. 3. Our certified installers complete the transformation in as little as 1 day. And right now, for a limited time, you can upgrade your bathroom for 50% off installation or choose 18 months with no interest and no payments. But you need to call now. This special offer is only available by calling 800-981-8177. That's 800-981-8177. Call 800-981-8177 right now before the offer ends.
The Historic New Orleans Collection presents a new exhibition open through June 7th, 2026. The Trail They Blazed. Built collaboratively with people who participated in the local civil rights movement, The Trail They Blazed presents stories of social and racial justice straight from the people who lived them. Listen to leaders tell their stories of resistance and persistence in their own voices, recorded by the Historic New Orleans Collection. Plan your visit to 520 Royal Street in the French Quarter and reserve your free tickets at hnoc.org today.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I'm Will Sutton, and with me is Ashley Shelton. Before the break, I told you there is another person running for mayor. No, this is not the city of New Orleans. That decision has been made, and we have a new mayor. But this is the state of Louisiana, and there are elections and campaigns almost all the time, right?
Yeah.
Miss Power Coalition.
Yeah, I teach folks that said we have an election every second Saturday.
Yeah, right.
But there's a lot happening. There's a lot happening all the time.
You know, I mean, we are very much focused on New Orleans, greater New Orleans, southern Louisiana here at WBOK. But I do like to make sure you're aware of some things that are about our people and places where a bunch of us live, work, and play. And so I'm going to fill you in on something that's happening up north that you might not be aware of. We are coming up on the end of the term of the white Republican Mayor, Tom Arsenault. He announced that he will run for re-election. And so there was speculations, rumors, and then meetings and conversations about who might run against him, if anyone, and would we have a black candidate to run against him? And separately from that, because these are angles and things that people look at that's not just race, and he is a Republican, so part of the conversation was, well, can we get a Democrat into the Shreveport mayor's office as we had? So yesterday, Stormy Gage Watts, business leader, longtime resident, and commissioner in Shreveport, announced that she is stepping into the race. So Sister Stormy is now officially a candidate to challenge Tom Arsenault. Qualifying is not open, so we'll see if anybody else jumps in the race. but I think a bunch of you all who listen to WBOK would be interested in knowing a bit about that. It's not New Orleans, so we wouldn't be on every day talking about that. But when we come back from the break, we're going to hear a bit more about this Shreveport mayoral campaign. You're listening to WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
WBOK New Orleans, home of the Good Morning Show, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Arizona Senator Mark Kelly is suing Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, claiming a punishment over video urging troops to refuse illegal orders violates his constitutional rights.
That's why today I filed a lawsuit against the Secretary of Defense to protect my rights, the rights of retired veterans, and the rights of all Americans.
Hegseth called the video seditious. A Chattanooga pastor is headed to prison. Ricky Lee Taylor Jr., who is black, was sentenced to 30 months for a $1.8 million COVID-19 relief fraud scheme. Prosecutors say he used fake businesses to get PPP loans and spent the money on luxury items. He must also pay restitution. And Helena Moreno is officially New Orleans' 63rd mayor. She was sworn in at the Sanger Theater by former Vice President Kamala Harris, becoming the city's first Hispanic and second female mayor. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I am Will Sutton, and I'm here with Ashley Shelton. It is 8:01 a.m. If you need to be there at 8, you're late. You're late, but hopefully you need to be there at 8:15 or 8:20 or even 8:30 or 9, in which case you might have a bit more of a relaxed time gathering your things, getting together, and getting out there. Just a reminder for safety, our kiddos are going to school. And at different points in different places and different methods of transportation. If you're out driving around this morning, be careful around those school zones. The speed limit is 20 miles per hour and not 26 because that's slow to you. So make sure that you pay attention to the speed zone because even at 18 miles per hour or 10, you can hurt somebody.
Oh, absolutely.
So be careful and watch out for the kiddos and watch out for the crazy drivers who, of course, don't include you, but make sure that you keep yourself safe, keep the kiddos safe, and make up for the people who are not driving as well.
You got more time than you got lives.
Absolutely. All right. So we told you about the new entry of a mayoral candidate in Shreveport. So I'm looking to make some additional connections on that in coming show or two. But for now, we want to hear about what is being reported by one of the news operations up there, the Shreveport Bossier Advocate. And we're going to hear that now.
Last year's president of the Caddo Parish Commission is running to be mayor of Shreveport. On Tuesday, she made her place in the race official. Commissioner Stormy Gage Watts at a campaign event Tuesday inside the Hilton Hotel in downtown Shreveport officially launched her bid for mayor, news that followed a brief news release stating her intention late last year. Gage Watts pledged she would, if elected, aim to unify the city and create one Shreveport. Tonight, I come to you not just as a candidate but as a daughter of this city, Gage Watts said from the podium, flanked by family. I am who I am because of Shreveport. My story was shaped by the people who came before me, their sacrifices, their faith, their resilience. And it is because of them that I am ready to serve as the next mayor of the city we all call home. Gage Watts, a Democrat, was the second to join the field of candidates for the November election. She announced her campaign about a month after incumbent Mayor Tom Arsenault, a Republican, declared his intention to keep his seat, and shortly before 20-year-old Michael Mays, also a Democrat, jumped into the race. Gage Watts has served on the Caddo Commission since being appointed in 2015 to fill the district's 7 seat vacated when Stephanie Lynch joined the Shreveport City Council. Gage Watts won a special election for the seat later that year and twice has served as the Caddo Parish Commission president, including last year. During her announcement, Gage Watts touted accomplishments from her time on the commission, as well as her experience as a mother and businesswoman. She pointed to her support for technology-based crime fighting, efforts to expand summer programs for kids, and success attracting big businesses to the city. I know what it means to fight for healthcare. I know what it means to balance a budget, grow a business, and protect a family. And I know how to turn vision into results, Gage Watts said. Shreveport raised me, and I've spent my life giving back, not from the sidelines but in the work. As mayor, Gage Watts said she would focus on reducing crime, rebuilding infrastructure, and investing in the city's children and small businesses. From Ellerby Road to Allendale, from Moortown to Broadmoor, from Spring Lake to Cedar Grove, we are many neighborhoods, but we are one Shreveport, Gage Watts said.
All righty. So we got a challenger. Actually, there are a couple of challengers. The other is, no offense, a 20-year-old who's jumping into a big race for a 20-year-old in a big place for a 20-year-old. But Gates Watts is a serious player in Shreveport, commissioner, businesswoman, a name people know, and she's decided to challenge the incumbent. Can you give us some Power Coalition context about where kind of Shreveport fits in the landscape of Louisiana campaigns, politics, and government?
No, I mean, so, it's always Shreveport, Baton Rouge, New Orleans. Those are kind of your 3 big population centers. And then, of course, there's the kind of the next tier. But, in terms of city, like your larger metros, and still also too majority African American metros. It's always going to be Shreveport, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and and so it matters. And I always remind folks that it doesn't matter. I always said if this was just about South Louisiana, I'd already be living in the state I want to live in. However, when you go to the state and fight for policy change, right? I still got to get 53 votes in the House and, and 20 plus in the Senate. And so you have to be able to work with leaders from across the state to be able to actually win things for New Orleans, to actually be able to realize, a better Louisiana. And so Shreveport absolutely matters in the grand scheme of things, because you've got, it's like I said, it's one of our major metros. And I remind people all the time, let's not forget that the Speaker of the House of the United States, Congress, is right there from Monroe, which is, not too far down the road from Shreveport. And so, North Louisiana is it has a strong voice and a strong presence. And so it makes sense to make sure that we understand what's happening there, because it trends for so much of the state as well.
Yeah, it's very unlikely that a mayor or a city council member elected in New Orleans would be a Republican. But Shreveport's different, and it's predominantly Democrat. But as we know, across Louisiana, we got more Democrats registered, but enough of them vote Republican that the state is reliably Republican.
Red, yeah.
So people say red state, which is true by voting, but it's a blue state by registration.
Right.
But Shreveport is a different kind of animal because Republicans do play a role there, and Republicans played a role in Baton Rouge, and there's a Republican mayor there. But there was a set of things that happened that, and reason that came to be.
Yeah.
But it's not like a normal thing that Baton Rouge would have a Republican mayor. Shreveport, a little different, I think, but it has a Republican mayor now. And in the case of Shreveport, my take is that there is a sizable black population.
Yeah.
And is it true in a number of cities and communities? Black folks don't always agree. And there were enough black folks who went with Tom, and he won. But in that case, there wasn't strong black voter support for him. Black folks just sat it out.
Yeah, I was about to say, it was
They
like that's
just-
the other
so,
way.
Whereas in New Orleans, Marino got some strong black support in her race for mayor. Shreveport, Arsenault essentially won because black folks didn't vote, or could have won a higher percentage of the vote with black folks choosing him. But that's not what happened.
No, it's not. Nope. And so I do think that, like, we have to remember that that's the power, especially in these major metros that are, again, majority African American. There's Baton Rouge has all these, I forget what they call them, but like we've got, so there's the parish, but then there are all the smaller cities that are part of the parish. And, like at the end of the day, like, I always remind folks that if we sit, if black voters sit out, one, we have the power to elect whoever we want to. But what plays out in so many elections is that so many folks stay home. And, and we've got to start recognizing the power that we have to actually change the things that we see happen in our communities and, and participate in these elections. Because not only does Shreveport have a mayoral election coming up, but they've got a Public Service Commission seat and a Supreme Court seat that are going to be on the ballot this year. And so, the Supreme Court and the PSC seat both have closed primaries, which is a whole new
dynamic for some of everything, and particularly races like that.
Yeah, exactly. So, and another barrier for, like, it's like now you gotta vote in a closed primary. Then there's a whole new election process.
Yep.
And, organizations like Power and PAR and others are having to explain to the public, what does it mean? And, and I think, one of the legislators made the comment that, we didn't have a lot of independent voters in the state of Louisiana. We had a pretty significant amount of, independent registered voters. And now that you were going into a closed primary, like those voters are being left to figure out, like, are they going to primary for the Democratic side or the Republican side, so that they can have a voice. Now, as an independent, they wouldn't have had a voice in a primary, anyway. But I mean, it is to say that, to basically force any candidate that's not Democrat or Republican to then have to get signatures to be able to be on the ballot. It's a new day, and so we've got to be able to educate voters. I mean, the greater New Orleans area has a PSC seat as well, because Camarda is term limited, and so so that'll be on the ballot too.
All right, good stuff. See, I wouldn't have had that if you weren't.
I'm glad I'm here.
It's 8:12, folks, and if you got somewhere to be at 8:15, you got 3 minutes. Please watch out for our babies, our kiddos, the ones who know they are children, and the ones who have nose hair, beards, and hair under their arms now. So, but they're still our kids.
They are
still our babies,
and they're still looking down at their phone.
That's right. We
not
want
at the
them
traffic.
to be safe. Please, please, please. You're listening to WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about
all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Good Wednesday morning. I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. New Orleans police say a deadly crash happened just after 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon on Almonaster near Jordan Road. NOPD says an SUV was spotted and stopped at the intersection when a dump truck slammed into it, causing it to flip over. They say a man who was working outside on the SUV and another inside were injured. A woman also inside the SUV died at the scene. NOPD says the driver of the truck was not injured. Mayor Helena Moreno is making it clear that getting lights back on for New Orleanians is a top priority. She launched her Lights On initiative on her first full day in office. Crews were already seen yesterday working on streetlights along Crowder Boulevard near the Willows Apartments. This is one of 13 executive orders she signed yesterday after being sworn in. St. Bernard officials confirmed 23-year-old Damien Gottschall was pulled out of the river there last week. He was last seen on December 21st near the intersection of General Meyer and Ernest Street in Algiers. The New Orleans Police Department is leading the investigation into his death. And with Mardi Gras just weeks away, public safety leaders in New Orleans continue to discuss safety precautions. This includes the city's readiness to respond to any man-made or natural incidents. New Deputy Mayor of Public Safety and Homeland Security, Michael Harrison, says his team is meeting this week to discuss proactive safety measures they will be taking. Harrison also says they're working to decide whether to bring back the barriers that we saw on St. Charles Avenue last season. I'm Daryl Forgis, and that's your headlines for WBOK. Have a great day.
That's right. It's party time each and every Sunday night at 7 p.m. on WBOK. It's the Throwback Throwdown with DJ Wick as he brings you the best in old school from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and the early 2Ks. Plus, the party goes to another level at 9 p.m. with the Throwback Throwdown Party Mix to round out the night. It's the Throwback Throwdown Sunday nights at 7 p.m. on WBOK and on the World Wide Web at WBOK1230.com.
Good morning, Wake Up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. For those of you all who have been with us since the start this morning or whenever you joined us along the way, we appreciate those of you all who are on AM radio as well as whatever version of the internet and digital that you might use. And, of course, thank you and welcome to our WBOK family of listeners who are not just listening but watching on Facebook.
Hello.
Hey, y'all. And a reminder that we've got Jared behind the glass. So he's helping us make sure that everything goes smoothly as possible and move on with the show. You'll be learning more about Mr. Jared this week and even beyond as he continue his work and ramps things up here at the Good Morning Show. We have a special election coming up, and that is February 7th.
Yes.
There are special elections, not just in New Orleans. And so can we take a couple of minutes to talk about something that's elsewhere?
Yeah.
Any piece of something that's elsewhere, and then we'll roll into New Orleans.
Yeah, no, for sure. So we've got Chad Brown. He's leaving his seat. He's in Plaquemine. And so that area will be holding an election on February 7th as well. And then Paula Davis out of Baton Rouge, who's a House rep. I forget her district number, but Paula Davis is also stepping down from her seat. And so we've got a lot of folks moving around. And so in addition to, the seats here in New Orleans, lots of folks are kind of moving around. We've got some Bessie seats. We've got, there's a couple of things that are going to be on this special election ballot, and folks need to pay attention because it's going to matter a lot. Because we just finished these local elections, but we move right into our regular legislative session, and we need folks that are going to fight.
So obviously, folks need to be registered to vote. in the February 7th election.
Yes.
You can still register to vote in that February 7th election. And you can get an absentee ballot still to vote if you are already registered in that election. It's not like it's across the state. You can only vote in the areas that
in your
where
district.
somebody represents you. But if we look at it across the state, what do you think is the most important race or the most important races in terms of having a better Louisiana?
Yeah, I mean, I think selfishly, again, we lost some great legislators out of New Orleans, and so that were leaders, right? You had Matt Willard, who was not only the rep of his district, but he also was head of the Democratic the Democratic caucus for the legislature. And a leading voice for within the Black Caucus, and so like those voices and those leaders are going to be important in those fights. And then we look at Chad Brown's seat. I mean this is one of a handful of Democratic seats that isn't held by an African American. That just so happens to be in Plaquemine, and it's going to be interesting to see if the community fights to keep a Democrat in that seat.
Yeah, and in New Orleans, of course, we have the campaigns to replace State Senator Joe Bowie.
Yep.
Who is
Under
now
Ron
SUNO chancellor. We have the state rep seat.
Jason
Formerly
Hughes.
held by
Yep.
Vincent Hughes.
Yep.
And we have the state rep seat formerly held by Matt Willett.
Yep.
So one of those guys is at SUNO leading the charge. And two of them have moved on to officially now the New Orleans City Council to help from that vantage point. And as you indicated earlier, a very powerful city council.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean there's no power in these state legislative seats. You say the name Joe Bowie in a lot of places other than New Orleans.
Yeah.
And people know the name Joe Bowie
No, and
for his legislative fight and leadership.
Yeah.
And so it does make a difference who's in these
Well,
seats.
and I think that like what folks have to remember is that like when when you're in session, right? When you're in legislative session, those three leaders, Jason, Matt, and and Bowie, they were leaders, right? Within their spaces. They weren't just the elected representative or elected senator of a district. Like they were actually leading in a lot of ways. All of them have led really important fights and stood up for what they thought was right and important for the folks that they represented. And so, as we get ready for these special elections on February 7th, we need to make sure that we're going to have folks that are going to stand up and fight and lead, right? And I think that there are a lot of folks that get elected to office, and they like leadership is sliding scale, right?
Right.
And then there are those that are very clear that it is their job to lead, and so with these three seats here in New Orleans, those electeds were absolutely leaders, and so we're going to have to make sure that that we get some folks that are going to come in there and fight.
Well, I have to say, I've talked with, and I continue to talk with a number of people who are very concerned about what we're losing with these, I'm going to call them promotions, that people have deserved and won and got appointed to. And so there would be a loss of knowledge and experience. But whoever is in each of these seats will have an opportunity to develop some of that. And, in the state legislature and a number of other bodies, at some point you're a freshman, and so you don't know everything.
Yep.
And even if you're there for however many years you can be there, you still don't know everything because things keep changing.
Exactly.
But how do you think voters should feel about electing somebody who haven't had that legislative experience and following somebody who has not just held the seat,
Yep.
but been a leader?
Yeah, I mean, I think, it is what it is, right? Like, again, like qualifying is closed. Everybody had an opportunity to throw their name in the hat. And, and now we've got our class of candidates for each of these seats. And, and I think that like part of what helps anybody become, grow their leadership is when folks lean in and support them. And Joe Bowie, he's not, Matt nor Jason, they're not disappearing off the face of the earth. And so I think it's going to be really critical for whoever, whoever gets elected into these seats, that they lean on the wisdom of those, those that formerly held those seats and lean into that leadership on how to navigate. And then also work together with the city council and the mayor to protect and fight for New Orleans.
Yeah. So a reminder, folks, the people who are qualified to replace Joe Bowie, succeed Joe Bowie in the state senate for District 3 are Ken Barnes, Sidney Bartholomew, the second, not junior, second, John Johnson, Chad Luga. Chad's run for things before. John Johnson has been in the legislature before. Bartholomew is a prominent name in the city of New Orleans and in Baton Rouge. Ken Barnes is a smart attorney who's throwing his hat in. He said, I'm ready to move on and do some public service. And then in the state rep for District 97, that's Eugene Green and Ed Murray. Again, family names that people know in New Orleans for sure. And in Baton Rouge and elsewhere, people certainly know the name Ed Murray. But that's not this Ed Murray. This is the son. But they know the name Ed Murray, former state senator.
Yeah.
And a number of people know the name Eugene Green, incumbent city council member. But this is not the council member. This is the son, Eugene Green, the third, running for that seat. And in the 100th state rep district, we have a bevy of candidates. So this is the one. This is the one where there are more candidates, more choices, and where there's a bit of diversity of gender because the other two are all men. And this one is different. So we've got Patricia Boyd Robinson, Dana Henry, Aisha Kelly, Kenya Rounds, and Candace Taylor. Quite a list, and we'll be exploring that some more. Now we're going to take a break. When we come back, we hope we'll be hearing from Sophie Kosakov from the TimesPicayune.com. This is WBOK 1230 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
The warm-up is here, but only for a day. Highs for today will reach 63 to 67. After some early morning showers, we should stay dry for the rest of the day. As we do get to later on into the afternoon and the evening, a cold front moves in. That's going to drop our temperatures for tonight, 31 to 38. There could be a light freeze on the North Shore. And then highs for tomorrow, only 49 to 53. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
On Auto Trends with JeffCars.com, here's a snippet of some of what we cover. GPS pioneer Gladys West.
We worked long hours computing trajectory orbits and satellite orbits, trying to get the data and everything correct enough.
Auto analyst Mark Bland.
14 new vehicle deals that happen in this country out of every 100 that women don't have a fingerprint on.
To tune in, check out Auto Trends with JeffCars.com, Saturdays at 4 p.m. on WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about.
Tired of the impersonal, one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Let's kick this year off right. WBOK invites you to the Fresh Start Mixer, Vision and Venture, part of a Seat at the Table series for 2026. January 15th at Nostalgia, 320 South Broad Street. Come create your own vision board, set your goals, sharpen your ideas, and connect with people who are actually building towards their future. Kick your year off right with a seat at the table. January 15th at Nostalgia, 320 South Broad Street from 5:30 p.m. till 9 p.m. Follow WBOK Media on Instagram. Ask for details in the DMs.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com. What if just $50 could open the door to your new home? Godan's is inviting you to enter their Key to Your Heart house raffle, where one ticket gives you a chance to win a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in the city of New Orleans. The drawing will happen on Valentine's Day, February 14th. Tickets must be purchased by February 12th at 11:59 p.m. Enter now at RAYZE.it/Key to Your Heart.
Good morning, Wake Up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. For those of you all who have already been tuning in, even if you have been tuning in inconsistently as you move from your bedroom to your bathroom to the kitchen to grab some coffee or tea and down the hall to another room to collect your things. Hope the volume's loud enough that you can still hear us as you move by. And thank you, as always, for our WBOK family of listeners who are also watchers on YouTube, Facebook Live. Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
I'm Will Sutton, and with me is Ashley Shelton. What a wonderful conversation.
Yeah, it's really
some things that matter.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, people, kind of get ramped up when candidates are out there and saying, vote for me. And it's like, yeah, but what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? And, holding people accountable.
Yep.
Access to these people that we elect.
Absolutely.
And do you see enough of that?
Some people are definitely better at it than others. But I do think that, it is more a problem that people don't think that they actually can reach out. than it is that people reach out and can't find their get in contact. And so I just, I always tell folks, make the call. It matters. They count every call. They like every, like everything matters. It's, I had a legislator tell me one time, it screamed at us for calling it, that his mother got a call, and then his mother called him, and he didn't like that.
Hey, you didn't answer.
Right. Then
I know your mama.
Right, no, exactly. And so I do think that it matters, right? Like that, the things, like they tell them, they're like, tell your people to stop calling me. Tell them to stop. And I was like, well, my people are the citizens of the state of Louisiana.
Yeah, right. Amen.
Not my people. Like,
all right. Well, joining us in conversation now is my colleague from the Times-Picayune, NOLA.com, Sophie Kosakoff. Welcome to the Good Morning Show. Welcome to WBOK. We're excited to have you here today. I am fascinated by a number of stories that you report. And here at the Good Morning Show, we have a diversity of news diet from different mediums and different stories. But I kind of got stuck on the city car thing.
There's a lot to it.
Yeah, so we were talking about it a few shows ago, and it occurred to me, it's like, we ought to get Sophie on to talk about what the heck is going on. So if I am inaccurate with this summary, you tell me whether the whole thing is inaccurate or one part of it. Roughly speaking, separate from any recent layoffs with the new administration, we have about 5,000 city workers. And what you have discovered in your work, a part of your work, is that 20% of the New Orleans city workers have take-home city vehicles, not all cars, but city vehicles. And that amounts to more than 900 vehicles. Most of them are for purposes of, quote unquote, public safety. A number of those public safety vehicles are New Orleans Police Department. But there are others who have some of those vehicles. And give us an overview about how you came on to this and how people can look up and see if their neighbor down the street has a take. Is that their car, or am I paying for that car?
That was a great summary. That was all spot on. We started looking into this and being curious about it because the mayor, now mayor, then mayor-elect Helena Moreno, highlighted this issue as one of the areas that she wanted to look at in order to cut costs for the city to increase, potential revenues for the city as she's looking to address the city budget deficit. So this was something that we had a pretty substantial interview with her. The City Hall team did several weeks ago, and she raised specifically concerns about the mayor's fleet of vehicles, saying that the mayor has 3 or 4, depending if you count one person in her, senior team vehicles, and questioning whether all of those were necessary. So then from there, I was able to obtain through public records request a list of the city's full list of take-home vehicles and also the city's fleet overall, the annual total of all the tallies that the city has had, at the end of each year from 2023 through 2025. And we found that the overall number of vehicles has increased a lot during that time, 40% increase during that time. And then as far as the take-home vehicles, as you said, Will, that there's over 900 city employees that have these take-home vehicles, and we were able to upload that database onto our website. So if anyone wants to search, you can find the vehicle, the purchase price for the city, the name of the employee, and what department they're in.
So this is for 935 vehicles.
Right.
And every single name attached to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want to do any snooping
research
around.
Okay. All right. So if let's just plug in a name. Somebody who's changed positions recently, but in this database, someone named Helena Moreno has a 2024 Grand Cherokee, and the purchase price was $57,500.
I have a feeling she might have one or two more now.
Yeah. Okay.
Because when we inquired about the mayor's cars, we were told that it's, partly something that is, I don't know if required is the right word, but sort of advised by the security team that there's multiple cars. So.
Right. Well, at that point that you're talking about when Moreno mentioned the cars, it became a news story. And Moreno said 4. The mayor, who hasn't been talking a lot, wasn't comfortable with that and decided to talk and say, it's not 4, it's 3. But I noticed on your database when I call up Cantrell, there's a 2021 Suburban, no purchase price, and no other vehicle. Did the outgoing mayor have 1, 2, 3, or 4 cars?
So she said in an email directly to us, she confirmed that there were 3 that were for her personal use, and then 1 additional one for her advisor. And that does, of course, raise questions for us about this database and whether or not it's accurate, because we know there to be, 3 cars and there's only 1 reflected in the database. This is something that there's been a lot of reporting, before my time at the paper, on the fact that the city has struggled to keep up its fleet management system accurately, appropriately. So it does seem that they've gotten it, somewhat together now, in the sense that they were able to provide this data for us, but definitely the fact that there's vehicles we know of that don't appear, suggests that there might potentially be other issues with the database.
Well, as you talk, I'm looking at the database, so I called up a couple of names, but one of them is Julius Feltus, who works for the mayor. 2019 Explorer, $28,510. Might that have been one of the mayor's cars, or is this Julius' assigned car not in the mayor's fleet?
My understanding is that that was the 4th car that now Mayor Moreno referred to. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm just playing around, folks. So, I just want to.
Yeah, that's why
it's
we,
really
that's why we
cool.
made it searchable.
It's a great, right, very easily searchable.
So were there others on the mayor's team that might count in the 3 or 4?
I'm not sure. Yeah, that's not something that we've been able to figure out so far, is sort of what accounts specifically for that seeming discrepancy between the 1 and the 3. But it's definitely a great question. And luckily for us and for the public, there will be more looking into this, more information that emerges in the next several months, because the Louisiana Legislative Auditor, Mike Wagasback, is looking into this as one of the issues that, part of his overall audit into the city's fiscal practices that he's conducting, partly at the request of the city council, but also partly it was a condition of the city's bond sale that they pursued in order to address the cash shortage in the fall. I'm not sure if listeners remember this whole back and forth, but the city, in addition to the budget deficit for this year, realized, oh no, we're short on cash for paying our employees right now. Went to the state and requested that the State Bond Commission approve a bond sale of $125 million so that the city could use that revenue to pay city employees sort of in the immediate term. And as a condition of that, the legislative auditor is reviewing the city's finances, planning to produce a number of different reports looking at different aspects of the city's fiscal practices from 2022 through 2025. So this is one of the issues that he's looking at as part of that. So, some of the questions that we may not have answers to right now, we're going to keep digging into it, of course, but he's also digging into it and may be able to, get some documents and data additionally.
So I also looked and I see City Council President J.P. Morrell, 2024 Grand Cherokee, $57,500, which is $10 cheaper than the Moreno vehicle.
All right.
And you can find that out.
Right. Look, it's all right here.
Saving some money there.
Yeah. So based on your reporting, is this the complete list?
It's the complete list that was provided to us when we requested the data, the complete list from the city. But yeah, as we said, given the confusion about the mayor's cars, there's some questions for sure.
Okay, but that's just 1, 2, 3, or 4. Might there be other vehicles that are not on this list?
I don't know. Don't really have a way to know, but I mean, I do think that essentially it does map on more or less to our understanding of the vehicles, in the sense that it's mostly NOPD vehicles. We are aware, for example, that the city decided as a recruitment tool for NOPD officers that every NOPD officer more or less would get a take-home vehicle. There was, an additional 700 vehicles purchased and my understanding is distributed as take-home vehicles in 2023 as part of that recruitment push. And it seems like those vehicles, more or less, that the number sort of maps on to that. So I don't have any sense. I don't have any reason to believe that it's completely, off base or something.
Right, yeah. And I realize now Mayor Helena Moreno brought this up as an issue and something that needs to be looked into, and maybe we have too many cars, and then of course there's the fleet management, maintenance, and all. But what's your sense of how now the new administration is balancing the public safety value of having these vehicles versus the cost of purchasing the vehicle, maintaining the vehicle, and having non-NOPD people with vehicles? I whoever you support, I don't think anybody's going to say the mayor doesn't need a vehicle.
Right.
A city vehicle.
Right.
I mean, that should not have to come out of her salary.
Right. Yeah, I think she's going to have some challenge probably in really doing a whole lot to trim down these costs, given that the NOPD vehicles were assigned as a recruitment and retention tool, and I don't imagine it would go over very well if she takes that back.
You told me I could have this, and
Right.
now somebody else
Right.
says I can't, and starting tomorrow or next week, it's not your vehicle.
Right.
So I'm not imagining that it would be very politically popular for her to do that necessarily. The issue of the mayor's cars, it sounds like that's sort of something that's advised by the mayor's security team. I think she'll be looking more so at the other people in administrative roles who have them and questioning more so whether those folks all need them, more so than she'll be looking at the public safety vehicles. The other area where I think she may be looking, this was something that the legislative auditor, Mike Wagasback, said he is looking at not just the take-home vehicles, but the overall city's fleet, and something that, he and I both noticed in the spreadsheet in the data was that a lot of the vehicles are a bit older, and he raised questions then about, are we actually using all of these vehicles that are from before 2010, or are they just sitting in a lot somewhere, and is that costing the city money for storage, or maybe for high maintenance costs if some older vehicles are still in use? Is insurance still being paid? So it may be that it's not just a matter of trimming the number of take-home vehicles, but also looking at the city's overall management of the fleet as a whole.
Yeah. Well, great reporting. Looking forward to hearing more about this. Ashley, you were saying some things before Sophie got here about your take on city vehicles, government vehicles. Can you bring some of that back, and let's get Sophie's response?
Yeah, no, I mean, and I think it goes hand in hand with what you were sharing about the retention, using the vehicles as a retention opportunity for our police force, but it's also too for some of our, city employees, right? Like to have folks that actually live in the city, work in the city, be able to, have a vehicle. I mean, our public transportation system, it couldn't even if we all chose to drive, use public transportation, it couldn't serve the needs of, if there's some things that need to be worked on, let me put it that way. And so like it matters that like some folks on, that work for the city have access to transportation because it is, certainly for our police department around retention and actually having folks that protect the city, live in the city, but even for some of our city employees too. I mean, now clearly they're, employees that certainly make enough money to have their own vehicle, but there are some that certainly, without a city vehicle, it might be a challenge for them to actually work for the city,
Yeah, I think these are questions that the mayor is definitely going to have to weigh.
Yeah.
From a sort of the official stance, I believe, from the city is that take-home vehicles should only be distributed to people who need them to execute their job. That's sort of the official policy on it. So, I think, but obviously that can mean different things, and that'll be something that the mayor has to consider and figure out.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So thank you so much for being here today, taking some of your time out of your work and personal life to give to our WBOK family of listeners. What are some things that you are working on that you feel comfortable saying, I'm working on this, that it might be helpful if somebody in our WBOK family of listeners knew about that, and maybe they can be helpful?
Sure. Well, one thing that we've continued to follow, people might be aware that the National Guard is still here in the city. And, this is something that I think obviously there's been a lot of national attention to, federal law enforcement, being in different cities throughout the U.S. Here so far, the National Guard has had a somewhat lower profile assisting with events. And we're, going to be asking over the next several weeks, how they're going to be, used during carnival season for parades, sort of what their day-to-day, operations have been in the city. I don't know if, folks have been downtown at all, but, there's sort of little groups of 2 or 3 or 4 National Guardsmen sort of walking around on Canal. I've seen on some of the major streets, in the French Quarter and downtown. So still trying to, get a bit more information on just what neighborhoods they all are operating in, what this is going to look like, for the rest of their time here through the end of February.
Okay. All right. And how can people reach out to you?
People can reach out to me on my email. I have that at the bottom of all of my stories, sophie.kasakov@theadvocate.com. I can spell that.
Go ahead. Yeah. It's radio, so go ahead and spell it out. Because even Sophie is spelled different
Definitely.
ways. Yeah. I'm sure you've dealt with that all your life.
It's true. Yeah, sophie.kasakov@theadvocate.com, sophie.kasakov, KASAKOVE @theadvocate.com.
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Sophie, for being with us.
Yes, great reporting.
With Ashley and me today, and with our WBO family of listeners. Insightful information. Good to know that such a database exists. You may think there's nothing to it. You might think there is. You just might be curious.
Right.
As I was, to see who's on that list. So thank you so much for coming out today. This has been a great segment, very informative, and we'll keep watching for more on the city car search and the overtime. That'll be interesting.
Yeah. Another piece that the auditor is looking into as well.
Yes, right. Yeah. Okay. All right, we got to take an overdue break, folks. So this is Ashley Shelton and Will Sutton here at WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Are you ready? A fresh voice in the city is here. bringing you the beats, the culture, and the stories that matter. From local music and food to real talk on what's happening in the streets, we've got you covered. Stay tapped in. Follow us on all platforms at WBOK 1230 for the latest updates and exclusive content. Your city, your culture, your news. Don't just hear about it, be about it. Follow us at WBOK 1230 now.
Attention parents, the Willow School, an A-rated National Blue Ribbon school in partnership with Tulane University, is now accepting applications for grades K through 12. Willow offers a nationally renowned arts integrated curriculum, top science and engineering program, and competitive athletic program. The Willow School is the highest performing K through 12 school in the state. The Willow School, where minds soar and creativity flourishes. Learn more about the application process at willowschoolnola.org today.
This is The Law and Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton. Comparing the cost of will, successions, and trusts.
A will might only be a few $100s, but your family could end up paying more in legal fees.
Trust costs more upfront, but saves time, stress, and potentially thousands.
Think of it as paying a little now to avoid a big bill later. Smart planning means big savings for your family. This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
Transform your bathroom with the beautiful quality of Bath Planet. As a trusted leader in bathroom renovation, Bath Planet has earned the Good Housekeeping Seal, a symbol of quality and consumer confidence for over 100 years. Get half off installation or 18 months with no interest and no payments. Whether it's tub replacement, a shower replacement, or a tub to shower conversion, Bath Planet makes your custom bath fast, easy, and affordable. Here's how it works. 1. Call to schedule your free, no obligation consultation. 2. Our design experts come to you with real samples to customize your dream bath. 3. Our certified installers complete the transformation in as little as 1 day. And right now, for a limited time, you can upgrade your bathroom for 50% off installation or choose 18 months with no interest and no payments. But you need to call now. This special offer is only available by calling 800-981-8177. That's 800-981-8177. Call 800-981-8177 right now before the offer ends.
New Orleans, the city of festivals and second chances. This is Mr. Rocky of Faithers in Jesus the Christ, inviting everyone to come to the table of grace. No matter where you are or what you're dealing with, guilt, bad habits, mistakes, or heavy hearts, Jesus still calls us his friend, and his grace is waiting for us. Tune in to WBOK 1230 AM or watch live on Facebook or Instagram. We'll reflect on his work on the cross, his resurrection, his ascension, and the hope of his return for we who that believe and have received him by faith. So join us at the table of grace, where mercy is fresh, forgiveness is real, and grace is served for people like you and me.
Good morning, Wake Up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. For those of you all who have been with us, of course, as I always like to remind you, we need our babies and our kiddos to get to school safely. It's 3 more minutes. It's 8:57. 3 more minutes before the school zone speed limits of 20 miles per hour are off. But there are always some stragglers, so don't take it so seriously and say, I can drive faster now because it's 9 a.m. There might be somebody running a little late. So make sure that you watch out for you and you watch out for them. And shout out to the assistant principals on transportation duty. That's the way you start your day, and now you get to do other things at 9:01 a.m. Thank you very much, Ashley, for joining me today. I enjoy our time together. I know the WBOK family of listeners gets so much when you are with us. And I got more I want to talk with you about. Can you come back tomorrow?
Yep, I'll be back tomorrow.
You coming tomorrow?
I'm coming tomorrow.
All right. I mean, can we talk a little bit more specifically about special elections?
Absolutely.
Hey!
I have some numbers for you.
You got some numbers for me?
Yep.
Woo! I love numbers. Got to look at the data. That's one of the things I have to be careful about with my columns sometimes. I got 250 extra words because I got a lot of numbers I want to share. And it's like, well, they don't need to know all that. You know?
Right. Then you got to qualify where the numbers came from.
Yeah. All of that. All right, it's 8:59. Stay tuned because the front porch will be up next with Graylin and Kimba right here at WBOK. And the talk line, because they always love to take calls, is 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. And you've got some thoughts about the special election. Tomorrow is your day to focus on that. I know the Orleans Parish Democratic Executive Committee, tonight is the night for their endorsements.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they endorse one or two people in each race. Nobody in this race, and person over here in that race. But that'll be interesting. And then we got the Independent Women's Organization tomorrow.
Yeah.
Starting to heat up, folks.
Mm-hmm.
We got some stuff coming along. Yeah, it's now time to get out of here. You're listening to WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about
all day long.